I thought, hang on a minute, that looks a little bit on the pale side. You can actually see the fish in that. Surprising how many fish cakes don't have fish.
The Chippy Tour.
Right, okay, we're at the Elite Fish and Chip Company, and it's just over my shoulder here. It's quite a big building, actually. Huge restaurant, really nice and tidy. Lots of what looks like happy staff running up and down, and the smell of the beef dripping. We were down this way anyway, and my wife says, I've got to have some beef dripping. So, looked it up. I've got a map there, I'll leave a link. So check that out for beef dripping chippies around the country. And you can click on the icons inside there and all kinds of things. Get all the ratings if I've actually been there before. You get directions from Google. Yeah, it's just a great interactive map for beef dripping chippies. And if you know of any that aren't on the map, let me know. So, first thing I want to do is, I want to go with the fish. This is the large haddock. Okay, and you know what? I forgot scraps, didn't I? They've got loads and loads of scraps in there. How does that look? I thought, hang on a minute, that looks a little bit on the pale side. And I had a big fingerprint in the middle of my glasses. Right, so that's quite a nice looking piece of haddock. So let's break it open and see what's going on in here. Yeah, Sue's got herself a nice fat end. You know what? That's delicious. Put a bit of tartar sauce on that. Yeah, that's lovely. From what I'm told, there's more than one of these. I don't know how many more. I'm going to have to investigate when we get back. So what else have we got? Let's get all these chips open. That's a regular chips. Nice colour. I'd have liked to have had them a bit crispier. None of them are actually crisp. You get the little bits, of course. So my wife's just legged it with a bloody big handful. What else have we got? Let's break this open. How's that look? You can actually see the fish in that. Surprising how many fish cakes don't have fish. Just nice, subtly done with the herbs and the parsley. But this batter on this is crispy. Lovely. Let's go with these mushy peas. Oh, they look the part. They're a nice colour. Too much seasoning for me. There's a sweet and salty flavour going on there. And you know what I'm like for my mushy peas. I'd just rather they left the seasoning out, because no matter what you eat with it, it'll have salt or vinegar on it or something going on. So you don't need the extra salt in the mushy peas. Like I say, the building was nice, spotlessly clean. Staff were lovely and all that. And plenty of parking, that's for sure. The fish cake was lovely. The haddock, lovely. Really nice. Oh, and Sue had some squid, a portion of squid, £5.15. I think there was 5 little pieces in a bag. There's no salad, just rattling about. So, the large haddock, £12.50. Regular chips, £3.50. The squid, £5.15. And their in-house or homemade fish cake, £2.75. Okay. Mushy peas, £1.40. So I spent a total of £25.30 here. So was it worth that price? Yeah, it was. In case you hadn't noticed, we got the signs from BDsigns and they're metal. And I haven't finished fitting them to the old boards. We only got them a couple of days ago. I have up here and I've put them on a thick piece of ply. Again, they're metal, fantastic. Look at how bright they are. With my new logo on there, we've got the YouTube QR code. I'm going to fix these into this frame and I might get a broader frame around the outside to hold it all in, because I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with these signs. I really am. They really stand out and they actually go with the van as well. So BDsigns is supporting me on this mission to support and promote our fish and chip shops nationwide. So I'm thrilled about that. Look out for the logos and the links in the description for BDsigns. Let's back to the computer. We're going to look at some reviews, a low one, somewhere in the middle, a high one, and mine. So we'll see you there. Right, let's have a little look at some reviews, but I'm going to start with this particular branch is rated at 4.5, which is great, considering they have 1,914 reviews on Google. That's pretty big. 1 star. Now there's a little image of a portion of chips in the bottom here. You can't quite see that, but actually those chips look quite chunky. This is a small chips, not regular. Very small, and when I questioned it, she insisted it was regular. This is about half the regular portion size. I come every week. I know the difference between small, medium and large. If this happens again, I'm never coming back ever again. If it was half an hour earlier, I would have driven back. But you close at 8 p.m. and I'll be opening it before walking out every single time from now on. Nearly 18 quid for tin of Coke, not very large fish, and small chips is a mockery. Now this person's give it 1 star and they're a regular there. I wonder how many times they've left a good review for the meals they have had. But 1 star is vicious. It really is vicious for a regular who's planning on going back because they obviously enjoy the food. And, these kind of things are destroying, obviously he's not happy, so he's not going to give it a full 5 stars. That's understandable. But 1 star for that and planning on going back, 3 star. It's all right, but I've been twice, asked for large battered, it's got nothing there, but the sentence goes on about the sausage, so I'll imagine it's sausage. Large battered sausage and chips. You can tell they take one of the large plain sausages and batter it, so it's very well done, and the batter doesn't stick as well. Response from the owner. Hi Danny, thank you for your feedback. We will pass this on to the frying team. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Team Elite. 5 star. Called in here for the first time with a friend who frequents. Not sure why I've never been in before. Probably because of the calories. Little smiley face there. When I lived at Skopwick, I think that's how you pronounce it, used to eat at their one at Ruskington. Called in about 2:30 and apparently missed the rush. We both had a regular haddock with half portion of chips and salad. Delicious. I also had a large white wine at a reasonable price. I would certainly eat here again, plus loads of parking and staff are very friendly. Mine, 4 star. On the approach, it was pleasing to see this was a large standalone building with ample parking. On entering, everything was well set out with an easily accessible counter, stylish decor and plenty of space for diners. The staff were polite and friendly and everything was spotlessly clean and tidy. I could smell the delicious aroma of beef dripping, which is always encouraging. Firstly, we ordered salt and pepper squid, but the portion was quite poor, with fewer than half a dozen small pieces in the bag. There were no vegetables or garnish or of any description, which was quite disappointing, and the squid was not particularly tender. It's kind of just rattling about at the bottom of the bag. You know, just something with it. It may be in a container, put a few fried vegetables in there, salt and pepper vegetables, or even on a little bed of salad, just to stop them rattling about and make it look more appetizing. The haddock, on the other hand, was thick, fresh and delicious, with a subtle sweetness, all wrapped in a light, crispy batter. The chips had nice flavour, but were quite limp overall. The mushy peas, despite being over-seasoned, had a lovely thick consistency, while their in-house fish cake was delicious and thick, again in that light, crispy batter. Overall, a clean, spacious and welcoming chip shop with excellent haddock and a very good fish cake. The squid portion and limp chips let it down slightly, but definitely not a deal breaker, as I would return, hence my high 4 out of 5. Cooking in beef dripping, payment cash or card, fish reviewed, haddock. See you on the next one.
Oh, it's the Chippy Tour, cruising the coast, can't ignore. With every bite, I'm loving it more. Saving the chippies, that's what I'm for. Yo, I hit the road, got salt in my veins. From London to Scotland, through sunshine and rain. Fish and chips in my hand, it's a noble quest. Supporting the classics, yeah, I'm doing my best. Met a bloke in Troon with a tempura squid. A castle in Wales where I had my bid. From mushy peas to battered Mars bar. A culinary Johnny, I'm a food rock star.